Ecclesiastes chapter 12. What?
I wanted to show you between your filmings.
Uh-huh. They moved all the states around him.
Got fairly good. Kept the state shapes.
Not too bad, not too bad.
Illinois and Florida is a little wonky, but you know.
Mm-hmm.
Louisiana's up where Maine goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that portion of New England is not quite the right shape of the states they've got there, but it's pretty close. I think they got the west coast and the southern border a little better than they got the northeast. But
well, northwest is a little bit off too.
Yeah, it is a little bit off, but it's still a little better.
Quite honestly, I like it. I think it's funny. I just wanted to show you between your filmings.
It should be sent to somebody in Europe and see if we can confuse them. Ecclesiastes chapter 12. At death the spirit shall return to God who gave it. The words of the wise are as goads. The whole duty of man is to fear God and keep his commandments. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun, or the light, or the moon, or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Also when they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way. And the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long house, and the mourners go about the streets. Or ever the silver cord be loosed, or the golden bow be broken, or the pitcher be broken at the fountain, or the wheel broken at the cistern. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. Now this is a little odd. So, what this sounds like to me is, remember God in your youth, because there's going to come a day when things are not doing very good. Maybe as you get older, you get decrepit. This could be analogous to something like that as you're getting older, your body's failing. You can't do what you did in your youth, so be good in your youth. But it also seems to be talking about like days of apostasy, days of economic hardship. Solomon's writing in his old age, but it is at the height of his power. His kingdom, his splendor is still the greatest that the Middle East has ever seen. And he's saying, enjoy this while you can, because there will come a time where this all falls apart. And then death comes. Now, take careful note of verse 7 there, where it says, then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. How can it return to some place it never was? So for those who don't believe that the spirit existed before this life, how is it returning? If the spirit was created as part of this creation and was never in heaven before coming to this earth, then how is it returning? It's not that we wouldn't be going back. We wouldn't be returning to heaven. We would be going up to heaven for the first time. The fact that Solomon writes that the Spirit returns to heaven, first of all, it shows that this whole book is about mortality because the spirit is returning to heaven. The spirit is returning to God. The spirit lives on. The body goes to dust, but the spirit lives on. It just simply doesn't live in mortality. It has no portion, no effect, no bearing on mortal life anymore. But it also shows us that Solomon understood the pre-existence. It shows us that Solomon knew we existed before we were born on this earth. Let us finish this chapter out. Verse 8. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, all is vanity. And moreover, because the preacher was wise, he still taught the people knowledge. Yea, he gave good heed, and sought out, and set in order many proverbs. The preacher sought to find out acceptable words, and that which was written was upright, even words of truth. The words of the wise are as goads, and as nails fastened by the masters of assemblies, which are given from one shepherd. And further, by these, my son, be admonished. Of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Now, this portion here is, again, as I said, the first verse in chapter 1 introduces us as these are the words of the preacher. These last few verses here in chapter 12 are a summary of the preacher. Everything else was written by Solomon. These portions are likely written by somebody else. And this tells us that what this is being done is a father is taking the words of Solomon and using them to teach his son at some later date. Now, we don't know who this father is, who this narrator or this framer is, but I like his summary. Fear God and do good. That is the duty of man. Because we will be judged. And in the end, our spirits do live on. Everything about this mortal life is fleeting. It is vanity. But our spirits live on, and God will be the judge of what we do in this life. So, that will conclude Ecclesiastes. We will be returning back to the histories in 1 Kings and 2 Chronicles before finishing out Proverbs. So we will see you in those videos.